Hi, everyone. Life Coach Carissa back with you today to talk about a new topic that fits exactly with where we are right now in terms of seasons. Why we shouldn't hibernate in winter. So I'll tell you exactly where this inspiration came from for this topic. I had asked my husband recently, hey, what do you think would be a good idea for a topic that I can share in my videos that I create? And I told him that I have this long list, literally a long list of probably 50 ideas for me to use for these videos. But sometimes I look at it and I'm just not feeling the desire to dig into one of those. And so he said to me, well, why don't you talk about how in winter it gets really hard to stay positive or motivated? You know, you go to work in the dark and you come home in the dark, and it can really cause you to feel down. So, something that could break you out of that, he said. And I was like, you got it. So here we are, thanks to my husband, Fred, for this idea for this video. And so I'm going to be sharing why we get to feeling this way and what we can actually do about it. So some call it the winter blues. The medical term used is seasonal affective disorder. And seasonal affective disorder is sometimes known as winter depression because the symptoms are usually more apparent and more severe during winter. Now, I did learn that there is something called summer pattern seasonal affective disorder, which I found really interesting. You know, while they don't know exactly why the cause or what the cause is for this summer pattern, there is this idea that the heat and humidity of summer is a contributing factor. And also that summer can create feelings of depression in those that are maybe self-conscious about their physical appearance. And so they get anxiety about being outdoors and participating in outdoor activities. Some other contributing factors are not being able to enjoy summer activities or vacations due to finances. And even the change in routines that can come about in summer with the kids being out of school were reasons that it could contribute to that summer pattern. So I found that very interesting. But for this video, I'm going to focus on the winter pattern of seasonal affective disorder. But like I said, I really did think that that was interesting that there is a summer version. And so I wanted to mention it in case any of you have ever felt that. I don't want to leave those individuals out. So what all this tells me from a very high level is that this is why it's so important that we manage our thoughts, because our primitive brain is always on and it is always there to offer you thoughts of what isn't good enough, what isn't right, what is wrong about this, what could be better. But that cannot happen without our buy-in to it and going along with it, right? That autopilot behavior of just repeating those same thoughts and behaviors. We have the ability to choose, and we can be intentional. So the Center for Addiction and Mental Health states that typical symptoms of winter depression or seasonal affective disorder are sad and low mood, feeling hopeless, low energy, increased appetite, weight gain, cravings, especially for food high in carbs, increased sleep or hypersomnia, isolation, or decreased interest in activities that we once previously enjoyed. Now, after looking at that list, I think it's very possible that some people experience some of these symptoms all year long. But for the purposes of looking at this winter depression as the cause, why would this be? Well, it was an insightful reminder when I saw where ecologists call this period that we are in the hibernal period. Could that not be more the truth with how some individuals feel this time of year, like hibernating and just trying to survive the winter? I mean, the definition for hibernate in animals and plants is to spend the winter in a dormant state. But I actually think that that can apply to us as humans as well. We go into this dormant state for the winter and we just try to get through it and we're counting the days until spring, but we aren't bears. We are gifted with the potential and the capacity to do so much more. Ask yourself, why am I choosing hibernation over creation this winter? I do believe that so much of it has to do with our mental state, our mental outlook. Sometimes it's these thought loops or patterns of thinking that we are just repeating. We are on that autopilot to repeat the same old thoughts. For example, if I year after year, I talk about how much I dislike winter and I talk about all the things that I have to stop doing. And, then of course, getting down to like this time of year, it's going to have a greater impact on me because I've been like prepping my brain with all those thoughts of negativity all the way leading up to it. But, there are facts, right? I'm not denying that there aren't facts about winter. So it is colder in the winter. Trees and plants stop growing in the winter. The days are shorter and the night is longer in the winter. And depending upon where you live in the world, you may get snow in the winter, right? But what is also factual and true and what we have available to us, if we can just get intentional about wanting it, I have some ideas, right? I want to share some ideas with you to get you thinking about how you can turn these winter blues into winter dews. So here's some ideas, right? We can prepare our minds in the fall. Just like you do preparations to your home to prepare it for the winter, we can also do this with our minds. By planning ahead for this drop in mood and for these true factual factors that winter season does bring, we can proactively decide what mind-boosting activities would help us through the winter months. Put a priority on social activities. There is no rule that we must cut back on this in the winter. There are still so many indoor activities that we can participate in. And if the weather is a factor, there are still so many ways to connect with your group of people, in alternative ways. We've actually become quite versed in this with COVID. We just have to make it an important part of our routine and not say that, okay, it's winter, it's time to stop going out, time to stop doing things with people, going to events. That is not true. There are still ways. We just have to look for it. Another is to stick to your routine and your schedule. Having a plan and sticking to it can be so rewarding. The actions and events may change due to the time of year and the season, but you can still be just as intentional with how you spend your time in any season. If one event is no longer offered due to the winter season, find one to replace it. Don't let yourself off the hook and go into that hibernation state of mind and just choose not to do anything. Don't just allow yourself to be dormant and hibernate. Another great one is to get moving. This applies to all year long. So don't let the cold or the winter weather change, you from getting up and moving, right? Maybe you can't do them outdoors this time of year, but, of course, in the summer, I am more likely to be found outdoors, but in the winter, I can go to activities that I've created purposely for that, and I can commit to them. Some of mine, like this winter, was weightlifting to build some muscle in my arms. I can still do my indoor cycling. I can do yoga. I can do meditation. I can always do my journaling. I can still get active even indoors if I need to. And like I said before, there's places you can go do this indoors, or you can do it from the comfort of your own home. You have options to get active and get moving. And don't forget, we still can get outside. There's nothing that says that we can't bundle up and go for a simple walk down the street when it is cold out, right? So another big one that I'm a big proponent of is to have goals. But I get it that sometimes the word goal makes people squirm. It used to make me squirm. But, how about you switch the word out of goals to maybe objective or desire or intention or purpose or idea? If the word goal makes you not want to think about it, call it something else. I've been referring to my idea list as my desired results. Doesn't just saying that feel less heavy? I have 3 goals. versus I have 3 desired results. Can you feel the difference? Don't underestimate the choice of your words. It can matter. So I always make sure that I have a list of desired results that I want more of in my life. And those don't stop in winter. For me, this year, like I said, my winter desired result, one of them was to build more arm muscle. So I went about creating an action plan and some action steps that would get me there. I knew winter can tend to be a hibernation period, so I made some specific intentional plans to take me out of that state of mind. Another good one that is good any time of year, but especially if you are indoors, journal. Write about what you're thinking and feeling. This is a great way to get out all the clutter that weighs you down. I want you to look at your mental state and your thoughts and put like a measure of weight to it. How does it feel to carry all that extra weight around? By writing, you can really feel some relief and get clarity on all that feels heavy to you. And you can kind of let that work itself out, right? It kind of dissipates when you write about it. It can take away that heaviness. So I encourage you to get out a pen and paper and write. Definitely get sunshine, whether that is letting more sunlight in your home over the winter when it's there, or invest in like a light box. You do have options for not settling for less light in your life over winter because of the way that the earth and the sun is during the winter and the tilt. It's a factor. We can have less sunlight, but you still have options that you can make sure that you still get sunshine over the winter months. Another good one is to take vitamin supplements. The majority of us, I believe they say, are lacking vitamin D. I was extremely deficient in vitamin D. And so that I take a supplement consistently. And I really base that on the levels that my awesome functional medicine doctor tests for. And so I get to see my vitamin D levels go up and down, and I can compensate for that. And get a coach or a therapist in your life to support you on your journey. My advice is not a one size fits all, depending upon your background and your journey and your experiences, you could benefit from maybe one-on-one guidance. And the main message I want to leave you with is you don't have to go it alone and suffer. There are options available to you, virtual, in person, so many options. Take advantage of them. Put away the stigma that there's something wrong with asking for help. I kind of led my whole life that way, thinking that I'm supposed to figure it out on my own and be tough. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of resources out there that could help make our life more peaceful, more contentment, and more empowering if we just maybe reach out and ask for help. And then I really want to offer you something. And it's just this idea that just because you've always felt this way about winter, that it's always going to be this way. Because I will tell you from my actual situation, I don't feel this hibernal season or winter depression like I used to. I'm telling you, I used to be the person that was more susceptible to this seasonal depression. I now see that I was not taking charge of this in my life and changing and having an impact on what areas I could. I would repeat the thought that I hate winter. I would go along with the idea that I could not be as active as I was in the summer and spring. I would choose to not be proactive and prepare my mind for winter. I would change the way my planner looked. I would find evidence as to why I was a victim. I would, look, I go to work when it's dark and I come home at dark. And so all I want to do is vegetate on the couch and eat. I was choosing to hibernate. It felt just like a fact to me. But after creating this awareness, I see that is not the case, because then I would just, complain about it as if it was all a curse and I just had to deal with it. Like I had no options, but I see now I've always had options. So learning all these mindset tools is really what has taught me that winter is no different than any other season. I have a whole year ahead of me. What desired results do I want, and what steps do I need to take to get there? I have learned that if I have a plan and I set goals for all of my 365 days, I don't have that seasonal depression that I used to. Truthfully, the seasons don't feel much different to me anymore. In a good way. It sort of brings a new flavor to my plan, right? Oh, it's winter. I'm going to do these things. I often ask myself, what can I do this winter to bring more joy and peace and contentment in my life? Maybe it is as simple as cleaning up an area of my home that weighs me down all year long when I look at it. Because in the summer, I'm out of the home more and I'm on the go and I just never make time for it. But, I can do that now, right? I can focus on that and check that off my list of accomplishments, of my desired results. Maybe it's just some personal development and growth activities that the winter is the perfect time to accomplish indoors. The point is, we don't have to just hibernate and go dormant in the winter. I'm telling you that it is possible for you to flip the whole winter depression idea on its head. If you get intentional and creative and plan for it. What is that saying about insanity? I think Albert Einstein, I believe he said insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. We have to stop saying that we don't like winter. We have to stop believing that you can't do enjoyable things in winter. We have to stop believing that it's appropriate to hibernate and go dormant and just vegetate and not do anything with our time. We have to stop giving in to that idea. We have a choice. We can choose what we want for any season of our life. We don't have to go along with this idea that we're supposed to slow down and do less in the winter. Okay, everyone, that is what I wanted to offer you this time around. I hope you'll go back and take note of the suggestions that I shared in this video for overcoming the winter blues and really consider putting some of them into motion. And remember, you are that creator of your life. Do you like what you are creating? If not, remind yourself that you can change it. And maybe all you need is some support and a change of mindset to get you on that path. All right, thank you for listening to this video. If there is an area in your life that you would like to improve or something you'd like to hear more about, would you please share it with me? You can send me an email to carisapeters@gmail.com, or you can also reach me on any of my social channels under Life Coaching with Carisa. As always, please click that subscribe button for my channel, and please like and share any of these videos that you enjoy so that I can reach more people out there that could use this support. And I will see you in a couple weeks. Take care.